Everybody, how are we doing? It is office hours time. Let's bring up the chat right here. Could you go over how you want us to clean our projects before we turn them and like get a vendor of any errors and such? Yes, that is a great question. So you should be able to hear me pretty well. Let me turn up the volume a little bit on this. So volume's looking good. Turned up the volume just a little bit more. I was watching some reviews from students or things we asked students, and I've got some juice right here, some Bolt House green. I think it's the green Bolt House drink. Excellent stuff. Just had some lunch. Hope everyone have a good lunch today. We got Bolt House. My favorite little healthy treat right there, some Bolt House. Talking about that yesterday. I had the Starbucks yesterday. Starbucks in my trash can now. But Bolt House, maybe Bolt House will sponsor us one day. Eating now, exactly. We're just relaxing. We're just eating. That's what we do. So let's bring up an RMD file, like your RMD file. So this will be excessive output. You know what I'm gonna do because I watch these later. Excessive output talk. Excessive output talk. So let's talk about what is excessive output. Right now, I'm in an untitled R script, which you'll see me use like every second of the day. I'm like, oh, I want to do more work. I'm going to go to an R script, and it's just an untitled R script. So it's important we know instantaneously what an R script is. An R script is basically just a coding environment to write R in. You're just going to write R code in an R script. It's where you write R code. Now you can't knit this. This is just R code. You just be like 2 plus 2, cool. You say my vector is going to be this concatenated vector right here, cool. You say I want the mean of that vector, cool. You say I want the mean of that vector again, and R says that mean of the vector is missing. There's a thing for 474 and 320, because now there's an additional argument we need here, na.remove equals true, and now it'll get you the mean of the vector. Little small kind of things we can make sure we remember while using an R script. Now you do not knit an R script. What you knit is an R Markdown file. Now, by default, an R Markdown file goes to be an HTML. You could set it to default to Word if you want. I'm going to set it default. Yeah, we need to set default Word right here. So you can change it afterwards. Click OK right next to my shoulder over there. I don't know my left from my right. So now we are in our Markdown file. Now you'll notice the color change here at the top, that it is red instead of blue, highlighting for you that this is a Markdown file. It even says RMD, standing for R Markdown file. The D down. There we go. Not the R Markdown file. And R right here. I tell you, lunch just gives you energy. This morning, I was like teaching and I had my coffee, but you eat some lunch. I had a good sandwich with some chips. I got my drink. I had some gummies. So it's good lunch. It's good lunch. So little blue ones you get on Amazon, like 60 packs for like $5. It's insane. Just buy in bulk. That's what we do. So what is excessive output? That is the big question of the day. What is excessive output? Excessive output would be something that would be like multiple pages of output. Really, the graders are told if you have more than one page of output that they would not read, then that's excessive output. So one of the big first places I see people getting excessive output when I look over people's assignments is on question 2 for 320 right now. I think one of the questions asks you, I'm basically going to do it right here, is to make a sequence of numbers going from, let's say, -2 to let's say 12, and then it needs to be by or have a length of 350 elements. So this is the sequence you get right here. It asks you then, and I often do these in steps, this is where you want to look at what's your final product. So Leia, I hope this makes sense. Like, what is the final product right here? This is the way I do it when I do my work, and always think, what am I going to turn in? What's the answer? What do I need to show? If we want to know how many of these are greater than 5, we can run this right here. And what's this going to produce? It's going to turn these into trues and falses right here where I'm pointing and show if they're greater than 5. And there's where the trues are at. You can see where the trues begin. Now the question is how many? Well, we're going to put this inside of, you should be thinking, if we want to count up all the trues, we need to something them up. If we want to count up all the trues, is anyone who's watching office hours right now for 100 office hour points, who knows what we could do to all these trues right here to something do to them to up, something up. I'm going to take a drink right here. Need more energy. What could we do to those trues right there to something? Something. I lost my mind. No one knows. It's my favorite sound effect. This is the rest of the office hours. Okay, it looks like I have to answer. And the answer is we will sum them up. So you can sum up trues and falses because trues are ones and zeros are falses. And so there we go. There are 175 things that meet these conditions right here. So you have to be careful though. If you knit this right now, you're probably gonna get points off. Reason being is the only question we're really asking right here is how many of these elements are greater than 5. And so while I do the work, you'll see me write the code a lot of times during office hours or while helping out. But you have to actually think, what do I want? What am I looking for? What was the original question? We did it in steps. We first created the sequence. We then logically tested it. Then we added up all trues. So if you look right here, there's a few steps we did in the background. We do not need these first few steps, but look what happens when you knit. If you knit to word right here, so we'll just go ahead and knit, we'll call it random. So let's knit this randomness to word right here. And you'll notice you're gonna get a lot of output right here. This is excessive output. Both of these are excessive output. Does that make sense right here? Both of these would be excessive output. So we really don't, no, we don't want these. We don't want this excessive output. Yeah. So this, once you see something like, no one's gonna read this. No one's going to go to your document and be like, I need to read all of this right here. I need to read all this. No one's going to read that. So what you can do is you can go right here and you can block comment this out. To block, you can just comment it out. Here's the easy way. Go right here and do comment. And go right here and do comment. But if you want to know quick commands, you can highlight the code you don't want anymore and then hit Control-Shift or Command-Shift-C. And it'll block comment it out. Control-Shift or Command-Shift-C is really cool because you can highlight multiple codes and just comment or uncomment code. So literally, I could go here and comment out everything inside of here just like that. It's a really neat Control-Shift or Command-Shift-C. Command-Shift-C on a Mac, Control-Shift-C on a PC. So if you have code you don't want people to actually see and you want to just kind of remember, you could comment. These are kind of nested comments now, but since the comment is here, it doesn't do it. But does that kind of explain, like, you don't, if you're looking at it, you're like, no one's going to ever read this, you can remove it. You can also delete it from your Word document. Make sure your Word document focuses, you're welcome, Leia. Excellent question right there. Definitely 100 office hour bonus points right there. And we'll keep taking more questions. I might even do a little bit of 201 here. I might pull up some 201 work because they have chapter 3 coming up. So I might try to put some, how do you get rid of errors? What kind of error? That's a really good question, but what kind of errors? What kind of errors are you trying to get rid of? What error has appeared? Did say I am error. Old references right now. References from, do I know the right button? Oh, about that kind of references right there. I am error. Let me check real quick. Yeah, post your error. Post the error in the chat. I might pull up. I'm gonna put up some stat 201 UTK. I am blind, and I'm gonna get 201 ready in the background so I can reference this video for them. If you're in the chat and you have questions, wait. Ryan says this is probably an easy one, but can you go over number 3 for 320? Yeah. What is number? Let me pull up number 3 here real quick. Of course, Ryan, you got it. I'm trying to remember what number 3 says. Let me go get it. Number 3. If you want to put it in the chat real quick again. I am more than happy to go to number 3. I am going and grabbing it as we speak. And we will have a new assignment posted soon. New assignment. Be excited. New assignment will be arriving soon. I have the assignment up, and I'll be there in 1 second. Number 3. Oh, cool. Yeah. This is a good one. Let's talk about this because there's a lot of things to kind of understand going on with this question right here. What type of objects are they? Excellent question, Ryan. 100 bonus office hour points. Let's go and take a look at number 3 right here. So what we got going on? We have different objects. And when R knows something, right now it just knows vector. When R knows something in its brain, it sees it a certain way. So the way in which R sees something controls the way in which it operates on it. So we're going to load everything above. If you run this button right here, it loads all chunks above this chunk. If you run this button right here, it runs the current chunk. So usually what I do is if I'm working way down on my assignment, I run this button. Now you got to cross your fingers and hope everything runs, because if it doesn't run, that's a problem and you'll need to fix the code above. So it says use object name not found. You might want to email it to me. You might email me a screenshot and your RMD and I'll take a look. Object name not found. Yeah, I might take a look. You could comment it out for now, but see if email it to me and I'll take a look. Good job right there. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I had a meeting today, and that's why I was only on Discord a tiny bit, and I haven't responded to all emails yet. So very sorry, and that's why I pushed these office hours back. And I was like, oh, the meeting ended a little bit early, and I was like, I have time to eat lunch, so I ate lunch and then hopped online. And I've still got my juice. Juice is good. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at these objects. Now, the alumni is a data frame, and the data frame should exist up here. Look in the brain of R. The brain's over there. So look in the brain of R and see if it knows alumni. If it knows alumni, it can show you alumni. And the alumni is this data frame right here, which we have, and we have inside of alumni vectors. So inside of alumni are vectors, and vectors are basically just think of an Excel spreadsheet, and that's what you're looking at. The data frame is two-dimensional. It's got rows and it's got columns. So you could think of the vectors as like the variables, which you see right here. There's the variables, gender code's a variable, zip code's a variable, area code's a variable. All those are variables. You've got here the rows, just row 1, row 2, and those are the observations. Those are like the individuals. So understanding that this is a bidimensional, two-dimensional data frame is very important. Data frames are two-dimensional. Vectors are one-dimensional. Like if you were to travel along this, you'd be just traveling along a road down here as you keep going down, 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 down. But in the data frame, you can go in two directions. You can go up, down, or left, right. That's what we mean by two dimensions. So when you go right here, we can check how R sees this. And to see how R sees an object, we need to go here and run class on it. So this is how R sees the alumni object. It sees it as a data frame, and that's how R will manipulate it. And next, we need to see, what does R think of the following objects? Alumni gender. Alumni gender, let's take a look. Alumni gender code is a categorical variable right now. Categorical variables are seen as, starts with an F, factors inside of R. So a factor is manipulated differently than a quantitative vector, which years to Haslam College Business, I think is an integer right now. Is it integer? We'll find out. Are you integer? It's integer. I was looking at this lifetime gift. Is that integer too? That is probably integer too. Oh, it's numeric. And there's a small difference between integer and numeric. I guess that makes sense. This is so subtle. And let me put some comments on this. Data frame, you don't have to put these comments. Data frame, which is basically an Excel spreadsheet. So data frames are basically Excel spreadsheets. This is a categorical variable. Categorical variable known as factor. And then you might say both of these are quantitative. So this is quantitative, but stored as, this one was integer. And I'll tell you the difference here in a second, if I could spell. And this one is also quantitative, but stored as numeric. So this gets into a little bit of the nuance of it. When you have things stored in R as integers, they take up less space. And to store something like an integer vector, we're going to store here 1L. And notice when I type the L, it stays with it. Is it capital L? There we go. I so rarely use integers. I was like, it's not changing colors. So we have here 5L. So these are actually numbers now. Notice how it says 1, 2, 5. But if you look over here at the integer vector, I wish it actually showed the L's next to them. But this is an integer vector right here. And the really only big thing to know is integers take up less memory, where numeric vectors take up more memory. So this is a numeric vector right here, and it's going to just be the same numbers. And I wonder what happens if I add the integer and numeric vector. But this is a numeric vector right here. This is an integer vector. Numeric use double decimal precision. Integers take up less memory. I'm pretty sure it's 16-bit versus 32-bit. Hopefully a computer science major will jump in here. But it has to do with the amount of bytes in the memory storage. And so a numeric storage of the value takes up more memory. And so if you have things that are not as precise and you want to do quicker calculations, you'd probably use integer because you want quicker calculations. But if you have things that are more precise, I guess you'd use numeric, which takes up more memory, double decimal precision right there. Because the computer can only carry things out so far. If you think about how a computer works, the computer doesn't infinitely do all the calculations on a number. Like if a number is like a repeating decimal, it's not going to carry every decimal out to the, millionth, billionth, even millionth and billionth is not every decimal. So when you look at how far does it understand that number, how much is it doing the calculation out to, how precise is the calculation? Well, sometimes the precision might be a very important factor. And in that instance, you'd want to use numeric. And hopefully if a computer science major came in here, they'd be like, well, actually, and I'd be like, oh, really? So there's a lot more to this. And hence, does it make sense? Like we're going super detailed right here beyond what we usually use this for. Here's the big thing. These are both quantitative. That is the business analytics part of this. This is both quantitative, and then if you get deeper into coding, yes, Ryan, awesome job right there, which you can probably just add these two together. It should be totally fine if I add an integer and numeric. They're both quantitative. What could go wrong? It's going to totally add them together. Of course it does. I was ready to play sad music. I'm disappointed that we didn't get to play sad music. Oh, wait, that's happy music. Good. We got everything working. We chose the right song. We could hop over to some 201 so we can put it in this video. So 201 might get some help with 32474. Do not fret. Do not worry. If you have a question, if you're watching right now, it's your time to ask a question. You are here to watch and ask questions. I'll explain anything I can and hopefully put it in video format. But understanding how R sees objects is so important. Just one last thing I want to say on this. You can look at a code. Oh, we got a question. For 320, how do we turn in the file? Do we knit it when finished? Knit the file, turn in the Word document. Oh my gosh. Whoop. Gotta turn off my ringer. Knit the file, turn in the Word document. That is what you need to do. Do not, I'm going to point something out right here. Once again, don't watch everything I do and then just do it, because I'm going to, at the end of this, I should do it. I'm going to comment out the code I'm not going to use. But I want to show you one last thing about this right here, talking about how R handles different types of variables. If you look, we have the same function right here. I'm using the summary function, and when I use it on alumni gender code, I get a table. We get the table right there. When I use it on alumni years to Haslam College of Business, then we get Haslam Business College, we get the 5-number summary with the mean. So, and we also get the count of NAs. It's right behind my head right there. So the important thing to see is, depending on the way R sees the object, it controls your output. You could show this also by going to plot, and you should get a bar chart right here. There's your bar chart, a horrible looking bar chart. Let's make it a little bit bigger right there. That's a better looking bar chart. Not great. Plotly can do better. And then here, if you plot it, you get a time plot. And that time plot looks quite ridiculous. For some reason, I feel like I've seen that time plot before. But the way R, and then, yep, we answered Chandler's question. The way R uses plot depends on the way R sees the object. I don't even know what's going to happen if I do this. This is a bad idea. Oh, and I don't even know what it tried to do. It said can't do it. It might have tried to plot like every variable. I have no idea, but I've never tried to plot a data frame. I was like, I've never tried that before. Oh, you have a question about Plotly? Connor, great question. Do you got some code, Connor, that we could drop in here? Let me, do you always have to run them in the console? No, you can run them up top. You should be able to run them up top. Let me pull up some Plotly code right here. Let me pull up some Plotly. I should have box plots. Got it. Okay, here's my Plotly thing. To make them interactive. Let me do this. I'm going to bring it over to a I'm going to bring it over to an RMD file. 2 seconds here. We will see. Okay. So let's give this a shot, Connor. You ready? Okay, so I'll show you what I got going on right here. Here we go. Good to see you, Connor. So let me cross this out. So anyone looking for how to make cool box plots right here, I think this will work. This is a file I constructed for the Plotly, how to do Plotly box plots. And if you look right here, it walks through a horizontal box plot, a vertical box plot, multiple vertical box plots, and then I do a kind of a cool one at the end here. I can send you this file if you want, and I've got a video going over it's a 10-minute video explaining how to use Plotly. So anyone who wants to learn Plotly a little bit, I've got a video, hey! And I was like, this video will be awesome. Everyone watch it. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, email me, Connor, or just message me on Discord, and I'll send it to you anytime, man. And excellent work. Like I can tell you, and like other people. I just don't want to say as many names if they're not here. But you guys and gals are working really, really hard. So here's the issue: Plotly graphics should not be knit to Word because Word can't do an interactive graphic. So when you have Plotly graphics, you can't knit them to Word. Oh yeah, I literally saw your email right when I was eating lunch, and I was like, you should see my name. You should see me at the top of the Discord. You should be able to click my name. Sorry, Benjamin, for the late response on that. Like I said, I had meetings and lunch. I'm sorry. So click my name and then message me, or I should see that you joined. Like I can see who joins, and if your name's something like that, I'll be able to see you. But click my name. It'll be at the top right of the Discord, and say, "Hey, Brian, this is so and so," and that'll do it. That'll do it. And let's see if these knit. Does that make sense, Ben? Sorry, I saw it, and I was like, I've got a stream. I was like eating lunch, and I was like, the stream in 2 seconds here. Let's see if this knits to the document and works. Does it work or does it not? The answer is it should, and it does. So these are the Plotly graphics we've created right here. This is in my little tutorial. And is there a way to make it smaller? Oh, there we go. So these are the graphics I walked through the creation of. And if you talk about like, hey, what's up, Jake? Oh, so good to see you in here, Jake. Look at all these graphics. Oh, dude, so good to see you. I know, I remember. I was like, I know who Jake is. We're just chilling out. We're doing work, and it's so good to have you here, man. Swing by any time. Say, hey, we got a new Mewbot. Mewbot has a mission, though. I'm scared of Mewbot these days. What's your mission, Mewbot? Oh, you love dogs. Oh, we know that. Where's your mission? 2 seconds here. We'll find out Mewbot's. Oh, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that because, sorry, I'm showing you Mewbot right now. But no, I really want students to be able to be successful and to hopefully enjoy what we're doing. Mewbot, don't do that. Don't do your mission, Mewbot. I think an invite because I have 0 friends. Oh, yeah, well, make sure you're on the... So I'll send you the invite. I saw your email. Reply to your email. Be at the top of my inbox then, which I'll try to look at the top when I stop streaming right before class. But send me and say, hey, Brian, I need the invite, and I'll make sure you get invited to the Discord. So I'll send you that right there. Mewbot is just crazy. We'll ask it from Mewbot for some. We'll see what Mewbot will do. Mewbot. Connor, we got problems with Mewbot. We need you to help debug Mewbot here. It's too much. You can check out our random quotes with Mewbot. You can also check out your points. For those who didn't know, you get points for watching. So you can check your points. That's how many points. Oh, wow. 26 hours. That's how much I've been streaming since we created Mewbot. 26 hours. Streaming on the web. So Connor, this is definitely, and this is one of the big things about plot. Oh, I should have showed these off to Stat 201 yesterday. Like I could have shown them, this is what you can do with graphics. This is what you can do with software. You can hover over. These are Plotly graphics. And so my whole tutorial goes through creating a horizontal box plot, a vertical box plot, multiple vertical box plots, and then using like coloring and stuff like that. And what you can do with Plotly is you can like just look at one box plot. Here's the most extreme outlier right here, and that's where outliers are. And it looks like the IQR is, if you're here for Stat 1, you should be able to tell me what the IQR is. Does anyone know? 100 points. Who can look at the axes right here? I'm blocking some of the answers. Does anyone know what the IQR is? Does anyone know what the IQR is? Anyone have any idea what the IQR is? That's also Q1 right there. That's Q1 in the median. I wish it said that. I wish it said Q1/median. So if you're wondering the IQR, look over here. Jake, Mewbot should give you a lot of points for that. I wish I might be able to do that. I might be able to add points to you, Jake. Try looking at your points, Jake. Wait. What did I do? I don't know. Oh, I just called my points. I don't know how to work all the commands yet. Garrett, you are right. It is 0.1. Great job, Garrett. It is 0.1. I wish I didn't do it. I just checked my points. All I did was check my own points, or I'll move that. It didn't work. Mubot didn't listen. Mubot just told me my points. There's a way to do it where you type in I need to learn more commands in Mubot. Jake, you are correct that so there's Ryan's voice right there. It's so much fun. Thank you, Ryan, for hanging out. So this is the IQR. It's 0.1, and notice how. Does anyone know where the upper fence would be? We were covering this in 201 yesterday. The upper fence would be right here because think this is 1.5 IQRs. So the upper fence. Ooh, I forgot you can do stuff like that. The upper fence would be right here. This is where the upper fence would be. If I would not make the graphic look horrible when I do that. Oh no, I want to do this. There we go. The upper fence would be right here because that's 1.5 IQRs above. Just take a look at it. I can almost reach it. That's 1.5 IQRs above. Does that make sense that the upper fence, that's where outliers would begin, is right here. Now there's no data right there. The data starts here and here, and that's why the points are there. So those are the outliers, and then these other box plots don't have outliers. They have a higher median, and these two have similar spreads. I mean, the spread is smallest, medium, large spread, and the spread's generally noted by the IQR and box plots. I mean, the range also, but outliers can drastically increase the range. So let's check out. We might, if you have 32474 questions, ask. I'm going to try to do a little. For 474, how do you do 1B? This is 1B from the current assignment, right? Let's do that, Ryan. Let's do that. You are here. You get the questions. Let's check it out. I'm just going to keep clearing my throat. Assignment 2. Assignment 2. Hopefully next week we just have one quiz. Let's check this out. Okay. I am opening up the work. And let's take a look. Okay. I think we're good. Let me see here. Okay, let's bring up the assignment. Here we go. So this is question 1B. Question 1B. We're going to load in the data. Make sure you have your data loaded in. You should see it under Files. And we're going to go, there's the example question. This is homework 2. And question 1. And is this question 2? Let me do it this way. We need to rename this down here. Question 2. And it's, oh wait, question 1B. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay. So some levels of name are not valid products. Investigate by visually inspecting the levels of the name column. Do not have the content of the levels vector in your assignment. Yeah, don't do that. That's excessive output. But do have the output head of the levels vector. Copy and paste, including the surrounding quotation marks of any offending levels in the response. So we've got the name of these notebooks that are sold right here. So we've loaded it in, and this is what you'd not want to do because this is too much. But let's look at the levels of the vector, and let's see what we see. Lots of levels, too many levels to count, and let's do the head of it. Head is going to return the first 6 by default, so this isn't really going to change it unless you put an error, and now it'll run. So do any of these notebooks look odd to you? Have you heard of a Amazon Basic 3-ring binder 1 inch? That sounds reasonable. There's another Amazon Basic. Do any of these notebooks? I'm running out of my juice. Do any of these notebooks, Brian? Yeah, I've got that. I'll show you something in a second here. Which one looks odd here, Jake? I'll show you. I didn't send it to you obviously last night, but I was looking through it. I enjoyed working on that. Like, need more juice. That first one looks odd. 404 not found. I've never heard of a 404 not found notebook. So I'm going to put this out here and say, this is not a notebook. What in the world? It sounds like, for some reason, we have taken the web page they ended up on and not the notebook they were looking for. So it's probably what happened is we got the web page they went to, 404 not found, so page broke. So something happened there. Something broke. Something didn't work. And so that's what we got going on right there. I think that's the only one. By visually inspecting the name column, do not... Yeah. the surrounding quotation marks, any offending levels in the response below. And it only asks you to do head on it right here, I think, right? Yeah. But you do have the head of the output on the levels vector. Yeah, so that's it. Right here, does that make sense, Sean? We've got a time object in this too to work with. So just kind of briefly talking. Now don't put this output here. Brian is doing completely different question. So when you look at the by right here, there's a by box time. And if you look at this, you have to identify the function for it. Expand, yes. Oh, that's what I was thinking about. I did, yeah, that's what I meant. Didn't I say the train to you last night? I was like, I think train has something. I couldn't think of expand grid. And then I was like, I shouldn't, like, I wanted you to think through it. Like, I wanted to like give hints. I was like, I think train might have a way of doing it. And then I was like, maybe I'll try simulating it. So, yeah. Because I'll do like all combinations. I like questions. I like working on stuff. For 3 spots. Yeah, you could do that, right? That would work. Except... Oh, you're welcome, Sean. Excellent work, Sean. Does anyone notice... No, that's fine. Like, I mean... I was just trying to throw you ideas last night to like, you know, be like a TA about it and be like, hey, would you think about this? Maybe think about this. Maybe think about a simulation. Maybe think about, you know, brute force methods. Like, you know, just throwing ideas your way to be like, hey, you could try this. You could try that. Because I think that's the biggest thing is like, you know, just the more you think about it, the more you kind of like think of different ways and just like you push your mind to be like, okay, wait, could I do it this way? This right. God. Who knows how this date is formatted right here? How is this date formatted? Any ideas on how this date is formatted? Any ideas? You got Connor probably knows this, I bet. Who knows? Mubot, do you know? What does Mubot know today? In junk? Well, let's see what Mubot says. Mubot, you gotta stop. So when we do look at the format of the date, well, we probably need lubridate. I don't think I have lubridate on. There's lubridate. Okay, cool. Yeah, lubridate was not on. So you have to look at what is this? 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 And this is the complexity of coding, Jake. Like this is where you're like, wait, that's all you have to do? Is we have this vector right here, which is in this format. And then you have to ask yourself, this is the what of the date. It's the year. This is the month. This is the day. Let's type YMD with a D. So look, which of the, Jake, I want Jake to only answer this right here. Which of these 1, 2, 3, or 4 do you think we'll use right here? Which of these do you think we'll use, Jake? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which of these do you think we will use? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which of those that looks like this up here? Look at the format. And which of those do you think we'll use? Which of those do you think we'll use? Which function will I use on this data? Which one? Oh no, don't. Okay, don't, Jake. No, don't look. Okay, don't. I'm sorry. Don't do it, then, Jake. Don't do that. So, the answer is number 4. Don't worry, Jake. I will not distract you. Oh no worries. So yeah, check it out later. Don't focus on the driving, Jake. That's focus on the driving. Do not worry. Focus on the driving. 100% right there. So with this right here, that's very nice. Listen. Pretend I'm the radio, put your phone face down, don't look at the screen. I'm the radio right now, so you've got the radio on in the background, but don't look at the screen. Don't worry about texting anything. I know you're here. I know you're part of Stat Nation. We want you strong. We want you healthy. So put the phone face down. Listen to it like I'm the radio. That's the best advice. Nothing wrong with having the radio on when driving, but just don't. Brian's advice for life, don't. I think we all have to work on that is like when we're in the car, we take our phone and we say, not touching phone. So that's what we do. Device for life. So with this right here, we are storing this into the vector right here. And this has changed the way it is viewed. I'll run this code right here. And this is going to be the way the vector is viewed. This vector is now a time object. Look at this UTC right here. It's now a time object, which means, I'm sure Connor knows this, that we can go ahead and we can take the hour out of it. And watch this. Let's just take a whole bunch of these. Boom, boom, boom. All of these. We can get the year. We can get the day. We can get the hour. We can get the minute. You can do all of these things right here. You can get the weekday. So you can be like, what day of the week? If you ever want to know what day of the week you were born, like, check this out. You could go and put in your birthday. This is the cool thing about lubridates. This is last little stuff about lubridate right here. You're like, okay, what day of the week was I born? Okay, so let's say I was born January 5th, 1990. I'm born January 5th, 1990. So I'm going to type here Jan 5th, 1990. I'm going to put this in a function called month, day, year. So what this does is it converts it into the month, day, year format. And then you're like, well, that just changed it to that word. No, that's actually a date format right there. Meaning I can go around this now and I can ask weekday, and then it'll say this. It'll say 2, 6. I was way off. So what does 6 mean? Well, that's the day of the week. So you could go here and say label equals true, and that was a Friday. So if I was born on January 5th, 1990, that would be a Friday. So it's actually converting that and able to take out of it the day of the week. So this object you see right here, although it looks like just text, it's actually a date object. So you can then manipulate it with things like weekday. You could go year day. There are no labels for year day because it's not like the day of the year has a label. So that should be 5 because it's the 5th day of the year. But what if it was Feb? And it's really smart because you could type like November like that. Oh, it got mad because it doesn't know November. It knows November though. So this is one of the great things. That is the 309th day of the year. You could ask, what day of the year is today? Today is, what up, Benjamin? How do you print the questions to your screen? Are you saying like for the answers, Benjamin? Are you wondering like printing the answers? If that's what you're wondering, I'll show that because that's me. I think might be, or you wondering like question 2 with how do you print your own questions to the screen? Today is what? September 3rd. Let's do Sep 3rd. No, it needs the whole thing. Is it Sep? There we go. It's Sep. Question 2, if you put in your information, it should print. So you need to put in your student ID. Don't put it here. And you put in your student ID and then the function. If you're getting error message, send me via email the error message. Is it loading up, Ben, for you right there? Is it? So you should be able to run all the code and then run the chunk. So where the data's at, run the chunk right here, and then it should allow you to do it. Like it should print out the questions. It should print them right below down here. So you should see your answer, your questions print to the screen. When you get a chance, can you go over 5D and 320? Yeah. So with 5D, it's dealing with the alumni data set. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. Worked on a few times now. The alumni data set has the fraternity sorority vector, and it has a ton of craziness. So probably best we look at this. If we were to look at the fraternity data set, well, it's going to be really sad if I remember exactly where this is at. What we have right here, now look at it this way. These are the responses people gave to what fraternity or sorority are you in? And did I delete it? Oh, we haven't made the Greek life one yet. So we're going to take this and put a copy of it into Greek life, which you have to do earlier on. And we put that right there for Greek life. Now you'll notice this has an additional variable at the end of it. So by running this code right here, it depends on a vector. So this is how you add a vector to the data frame. Project 1. And so let's take a look right here. Focus on driving. It says error could not find function. Go to line 37 and you should see a load function, Benjamin, and run line 37 with the load function. Look for a load function and tell me if that runs. Try running the load parentheses and then there should be an R data file in there. Tell me if that runs. Take a look at this for 5D. Will we eventually, really? Don't do that. Let's see if we see any craziness. We're breaking the computer is what we're doing. This is a bad idea. So there are Greek life levels that have multiple responses in them. But we're asking people, what Greek life are you a part of? So we asked people, what Greek life are you in? And some people said multiple responses, which really doesn't make sense. And I think it won't display on the screen. Oh, wait, that's only one. So we can examine the levels of this variable. And let's think about this. Here's the levels of this variable. These are all the responses people gave. As in when we see this right here, this does not mean there are 3 people in phi gamma delta. It says error could not find function, error cannot, yep. I got that next, Ben, you got it. So this right here is that we have a person who reported, I am in Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta. So if you went up to someone and you said, what, is that a fraternity or sorority? I'm so bad. If you said, what fraternity are you in? Sorry if you're a sorority. And they were like, Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta. You'd be like, wait, what? You're in Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta. So someone reported this. We could take a look at the data and actually see this. So does that make sense? That someone would say 3 times, and this is not they did the survey 3 times to make, I want to show this as clearly as possible. So let me go to which, and let me go alumni. These are extra steps you do not need to do. Be very careful what you print out, because this question is mainly about explaining it. And we're going to find the person who said Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta by doing this search right here. And which is not logical. Oh, I put the which in the wrong spot. The which needs to be here. There we go. They are row 23,383. So I'm going to go look at this real quick, and then we're going to check out Benjamin's stuff right there. 23383. So 23383. This will be worth it. I wish you could scroll down. No, you can't. That's a bummer. So we need to go down about here. 2, 3. Oh, there we go. 23383. We gotta do it this way. 23383. There we go. There we go. So this row right here, does this make sense? I think it was, to answer the question, we just make it a text strand in our chunk with the, you can answer outside of it. So you can go outside the chunk and answer and just write normally. Does that make sense, Ryan? Just go outside the chunk. Like you can go right below it and just type out like a Word document. Or you could knit it and then just type it out like a Word document. So the grader will, because this doesn't require as much coding, but this person right here answered UTK, Phi Gamma Delta, UTK, Phi Gamma Delta, UTK, Phi Gamma Delta. And it's like, wait, what? This is one person right here who, from Germantown, pretty wealthy, it seems, because that's a log base of their income. But it doesn't make sense why they would, it's one person. This is not one person, 3 people. Does that make sense why this doesn't make sense? That's the best way to ask it. Does that make sense why this doesn't make sense? How's that seem, Ryan? Like this is one person's response right here. And I was able to find it with the which function. Yeah. And so that's what you want to like communicate to them. Like these responses right here, the levels we are seeing right here don't make sense that someone would report, well, I guess you could be in 2, like you could switch, but we see a lot of like Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta, Phi Gamma Delta. You're welcome. We see Kappa Sigma, Kappa Sigma, Kappa Sigma, Kappa Sigma, Kappa Sigma. So someone reported 4 times Kappa Sigma sorority there, I believe. And so, yeah. And so Benjamin, do this. In this area over here, you should see your .r data file, and you should see your .rmd, and you should be in your 320 folder. So here's your ways to check things right here. Go to Tools, and then go to Global Environment, and then go to Set Your Working Directory. Let me repeat that process. We're going to go to Tools, Global Environment, and then you're going to choose your working directory right here. So Tools, Global Environment, and then choose your working directory right here, choose your 320 folder, and then click Apply, and then click OK. So now after you've done that, and pause the video if you want here, restart R completely. Now over here, you should see in the files, both your RMD for this assignment and your .r data file. Try now to run line 37, which loads in the environment. If it doesn't load in the environment, take a full screenshot using Command-Shift-4 or snipping tool. Don't use your phone. Don't. Everyone's like, use the phone. No, just use Command-Shift-4 or snipping tool. It's much easier and cleaner to read. It's easier to see. So take a screenshot and then send it to me if it doesn't work. But make sure I can see the files, because there might be a different file name for some reason that you've used. But if I can see everything, usually I can isolate where the problem's at. How's it working, Ben, right there? Are you able to get line 37, which is the environment, which is basically the brain of R? If you notice right here, I've got one of the load things on this assignment, which loads in the environment. Here it is right here. And what it's going to do is it's going to look into my working directory over there, which is where the files are at. And it's going to search for that, and it loads it in. So what does the load function do? It basically like boots up a brain. It puts stuff in R's mind. So when I do this right here, you see R's mind all of a sudden has stuff in it. So that's what the R environments are. They're basically like brains for R. It knows stuff. I don't think my data file will load for some reason. I'm about to email. Yeah. It could be that things are so. It usually is that you're in the wrong working directory. Things are stored in the wrong spot. But we'll try to figure out where the disconnect is. What other questions are there? Feel free to ask questions. I got a knot in my hair. I was just getting. I'll get my hair all the way to my shoulders. It takes so long. Should we clean up our file in Word? Yeah, Ryan, that's a really good thing to do. Once you knit, like if you're like, I've got a page of output no one's ever going to look at, delete it. Do that. I'm going to feel really sad. You're growing your hair out too? That's awesome. Jake, just focus. Make sure you're focusing on driving. So, no, that's like, make sure if you see output that no one would read. The very first part of the stream right here, we talked about making sure you don't have excessive output. Awesome. You're welcome. That's my goal. And I'm hoping we haven't had too many 201 students show up. Okay, good. Jake's all about it. Jake. Oh man, I didn't want to distract you. So I'm glad. There we go. Vols help Vols. Mubot knows that right here. Mubot, what do you want to tell us, Mubot? We'll see if there's some more questions from individuals. I'll probably hop over to Discord. Vols help Vols. Mubot, you know what's up. I know. I might set up like my own channel. Maybe that's how I was writing stats notes. I might set up my own channel and do that. I'm like debating. I'm like, should I just, because I talked about that a lot. I was like, I should live stream games. Like, I want to live stream Isaac. Do you ever watch Isaac runs? Oh, we got Space. Oh, Space Pen's still here. You know Space Pen's never gone. Space Pen is not far away. Did I not use Space Pen today? It's a sad day when I don't use Space Pen. But Rainbow Pen is gone, I think. I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna search for Rainbow Pen. 2 seconds. I'm still here. I'm still answering questions. See, this Gravel Pen is not great. Gravel Pen is not worth it. Gravel Pen, not worth it. Yeah, Isaac. Yeah. So, could we set up a Zoom? Yeah. Send me an email. If you have a Zoom account, we could probably hop on there real quick and I could take a look. I'll leave here in 5 minutes. I want to see if. Okay, you could do Space Pen, and then you had Rainbow Pen. What is this? That's interesting. Never tried that. Drawing canvas. They took away my Rainbow Pen, and I'm really sad about that. Oh, dude, Isaac is a middle school kid. Isaac came out, what, like 6-7 years? I guess it did come out 6-7 years ago. Isaac came out, and I was already, No, it's all right. I'm just old. It's why I have my hair long. No one knows I'm old. No, Brian's 25. He's not old. Brian's just a youngster. No, Isaac's excellent. I've got 100% on one file. And then I've got a file I just mess around with, and then my fiance plays on my third file. So, and I love watching Isaac runs. And she's like, how do you know all these items? How do you know, like, every single item in the game? I'm like, I've got 1,000 hours in this. It's kind of sad. So now I'm like, man, I just want to boot up an Isaac run. See, I figure, here's the last thing I'll say, Jake, and then I'll head over to because we're at the last 3 minutes here. I've thought about I should just, like, play it and be like, this is my first time playing Isaac on PC. And because I don't know, I can beat it most of the time. I mean, like go all the way to the very end, like the chest and stuff like that. So, you know, all the way. Yeah. Of course, the first time you play it, you only go through the first 6 stages, and then you only go to the next 2, and then you get you open up new things as you get the Polaroid and the negative and all that stuff. It's so much fun. Just go back if you want. I mean, moderation, because it's such a game. Like, I would sit down some days and play for like 2-3 hours, or I'd be like staying up, and like 1 a.m. rolls around, 2 a.m. rolls around. I'm like, okay, I got to stop. I can't do another Isaac. I'm like, okay, another Isaac run. I start and I get like 20/20 double vision, and I'm like, because that's one of the best items in the game. There's really no downside. It's not like you're any slower in how you work. Like, I mean, even quad shot, people might say because quad shot slows down your shots. So I guess we're inner eye. Inner eye's 3, quad shot's 4, and then double vision's 2. But double vision, there's no downside to that. Like, this is better. So, but some people are against quad shot. I wouldn't be against it. It's good. I mean, I guess if you have a really slow, I guess chocolate milk quad shot. But I mean, if you have like soy milk quad shot, that's really good. I don't know. So many. There's all the synergies. See, that's just a fun game. It's so much fun. Well, that's our Isaac talk today. A lot of fun. Video games in moderation. Everything in moderation. But I'll be back. Check it out, Jake. We got some new outros. Jake, do you want the bunny outro or do you want the shattered? I like chocolate milk. Bunny or shattered? What do you think? Bunny or shattered? Your call, Jake. You get to pick what we outro with, and I'm going to hop over and talk to Ben on Zoom here. Your call. I might have to pick. We pick my favorite. We got a new one here. You haven't seen this yet. Well, these both are new. So here we'll go with the bunny. Oh, we're doing the bunny then. We got it. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Bye.